I'm looking forward to speaking to your group today. Thank you so much. I'm Shiley from yoursocialmediasherpa.com, where I help business owners get clarity and accountability doing your own marketing. So anybody know this logo right here, accompanied by young Shiley in high school? Anybody know, shout it out. This is the old Myspace logo, and Myspace is actually how my life changed forever and what led me to the career that I'm in now. I was bullied, I was lonely, I didn't really have any friends, and this girls in social media actually didn't have any social skills. I had to learn all on my own how to make friends and how to socialize. I ended up finding my community and my online home in a group of folks on MySpace who loved the same things I did, reality competition shows like Survivor and Big Brother. It was in this group where I felt like I made the first connections I ever had in my life. It was more meaningful than anybody I'd ever met in school. And I learned how to build community there better than ever before. I actually ended up managing a community for all the nerds just like me back on MySpace. And it changed my life. I had a MySpace group, and I even had a competitor because my group was so special. And I really didn't think anything of this till applying for my first paid social media position. And I was asked if I'd ever managed online communities before. And it hit me that everything I had done on MySpace was really early social media skills before the term was ever really a thing. And from there, it changed my life. From there, I started doing social media and eventually got asked by a BNI member if I could just show her how to do social media. And she hired me from there. Actually, this is somebody from like 3 or 4 years ago. She just reached out to me again a couple days ago. So from there, it all kind of came together that I should really be teaching and empowering people to do their own marketing. I'm actually a certified teacher. So all of these pieces coming together make total sense. The biggest thing really about what I want to do for business owners, you'll see in a second, is this. What is a Sherpa? Is to really guide them to get clarity and accountability with their marketing. I'm sure many of you can relate if you're running your own business here that you have to do all the things. You have to do the accounting, the sales, the marketing, all this stuff. It's very overwhelming. And you don't want to have to do all of that stuff. A lot of the people I work with, they already get business. They have the secret sauce, which is connections and referral networks and all this kind of great stuff, but they do the social media and they feel like their efforts are fruitless when really they have the biggest advantage yet. So with that, I will say this. One of the biggest things I help my clients with is I help them answer that question of like, what the heck is it that I need to post? I leave my clients with arsenals of ideas that they didn't know they needed to put out there. The biggest thing I can say too is imagine if everything that people saw of you online before a sales call or anything like that answered all the questions for your clients they didn't even know they needed. That is the biggest thing I really teach my clients. You want to make sure that you are easily Googleable. Someone asked me the other day, they're like, Shiley, I know your competition. Oh, there's a lot of other social media coaches. I'm like, why are you different? Why is what you're doing needed? And a lot of people will teach people, hey, you want to be a YouTube star? Hey, you want to be a TikTok star? They'll sell you a one-trick pony, something. And that's okay. But they also try to teach you to be a social media manager. And my business owners, they're influencers in their own right. And they have a network. They just don't know how to use it. And I don't teach one-trick pony. I teach something that everything I teach can be applied to whatever the platforms are, whether they're now or in 5 years from now. So that's the biggest thing, is that I don't have to be the expert in their field. I'm the expert at helping them communicate what makes them special in their field. I was asked to share a few insights of what my clients say. And for the record, here are some examples of my clients here. One of my clients is a matchmaker serving the Indian community. And I asked her, and as long as with an insurance agent that I work with, I asked them, what is the result of working with me? And they both had the same thing along the same lines. They said, Shiley, you know what? I realized with all the guidance that you've given us, we're having much better conversations with the people we serve. They're having much more meaningful, more fruitful conversations, and that the business team is getting a lot more inbound conversations coming that we never had before. And I absolutely love that. Those are just a little bit of the nuggets I had from folks, helping them get their email marketing up and beyond. The process in which I work with people starts like this. People usually come to me and they're not really sure where they are in their marketing. They don't know what's working, what's not working. So what I do is I do a video review where I sort of stalk you on the internet. I don't know if I love that word, but it's kind of what I do. I look everything up and you see my first impression, what works, what doesn't, what do I see, what do your clients see? From there, it really gives my clients a really big refresh on how they should think about their own marketing and where their opportunities are that they're missing. From there, we learn together. So for some people, it's learning how to hack Instagram hashtags. For some people, it's learning what you need to put in email marketing. It really just depends on who they are. And then ongoing, as we work together, whether it be for 3 months, 6 months, long term, it's that accountability to do the thing that we check in on a regular basis so that they feel supported.
Shelly, you got 1 minute.
Okay, this is where I do my marketing. LinkedIn is my baby. I love it. Here's some places where I've done speaking engagements over the years. I also teach at the University of Chicago. And I want to leave you with a few tips. A simple thank you for engaging with a social media post with someone online will make them want to engage even more, and it will open up a conversation you didn't know you needed. Twitter is a great place to find your competitors. If you look up your competitors on Twitter, who they follow is likely their client list. So that actually might help you figure out who you need to target. And the last nugget, and I know your community wants to put out an ask to you all of something useful here, as if you go to yoursocialmediasherpa.com, I want you to get access to all of my favorite LinkedIn profiles. Your LinkedIn is oftentimes the first place people look to see how smart you are, how much you understand their problem. So I wanted to make it really easy for people to make their own connections and ideas about what they need to do to present themselves. I see someone was born in the neighborhood I live in. Amazing. So those are my nuggets for today. I'm going to put it in the chat. Thank you everyone for your help. If I were to ask a question to everyone, it is, what's the best way that I can structure my service for long-term growth in a way that I can maintain and enjoy? Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Great job. Fantastic. This is so cool. So some of the things you said just reminded me of, like, you're basically helping people invest in social media. It really feels like you're doing kind of that longer term approach, not the flashbang, so to speak, of trying to get famous, but let's do it the right way.
100%.
That's great.
100%. I think somebody asked me, they're like, Shiley, somebody on a podcast, they're like, shy, because I do a lot of podcasts, and they're like, Shiley, you don't have 1 million followers. How should I trust you? And I'm like, everybody who's a good networker has 1 million followers in real life. You just can't see them online. And those are the people who have the best advantage online, because that's the stuff that takes the most work. But they just don't know how to connect those two worlds. So that's what I do.
Awesome. Eric has our first question here. How do you measure your success for your clients? What's your metric of success?
You know, this is one of the toughest questions I get, because I'm not the data nerd here. But when I did ask that question to my clients, like, it's the increased conversations, is that they had a whole network of people. And I have a photographer I just did a video review for last week. He has a massive list of people, but everything he was putting out was sales, 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 sales. Buy my photo session, buy this, buy that. And I was like, you know, I don't want to be sold to all the time. There's a reason why these people aren't interacting with you, is that you're constantly pushing something on them. So the same way, it's that people are better understanding what they do, and they're open to having that conversation, because it's not about me telling you I have a product. It's about you thinking I'm the person that has the answers that you didn't know you needed. Is that instead of vetting you based on phone calls, they're vetting you based on everything you would have said on that phone call, but it's already published online for the world to see.
Yeah, exactly. Denny has a question. How do you make money? In other words, what's your business model?
I sell services. So this is where it's interesting. These are great questions. So right now I sell video reviews. People purchase that, and then if whatever, they fall in love with me there, they can purchase ongoing learning sessions with me. It's not based on like hourly rate. It's more like, here's a subscription. This is what you get. And you get ongoing phone calls on a regular basis. I've been also making money doing speaking engagements. That's been really cool. One of my clients is an internet coach. So I help her coach some 200 consultants on how to get more clients on LinkedIn. So I've been doing that for a long time as well. I just added like small products on my website that are under $100 that have like training videos. It's brand new. Somebody apparently is going to buy one today, according to her, but it's a great little gateway drug, and it doesn't involve my time as much. So these are what I'm testing out.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Susan's question is, do you offer creative services in addition to your coaching?
Susan, are you asking if I do social media for my clients? or like graphic
Yeah.
design.
Like, you guide them you give them the information, you give them the tools. What if they don't have the capabilities to create? I mean, I guess the question is, do you give them other services outside of coaching, like design services, basically?
I don't do design services, but I have a lot of friends that I can refer people out to and say, hey, and I've done that before. And my friends have fallen in love with the people I've referred them with. And I'm like, fantastic. But I had one client, repeat client from a few years ago, call me to show her how to use Canva. And so I was able to offer her that as an opportunity there. But that is not necessarily what I do. But Canva is nice.
Thanks.
Pamela
yes,
would like to know, sorry.
No, go for it.
Now, Pamela's question is, what's the best way to connect with you? Is it LinkedIn, email list, Instagram? What's the best way for someone to connect with you?
I would say follow my LinkedIn. Every time I put something out, lots of people love it. They get lots of good tips. If you look through my old posts, lots of good insights there, but best is my email list. I put like super little fun, easy hacks that you wouldn't expect. So if you get my LinkedIn profiles, you get added to that. It's an email every other week. It's super low key. People seem to really love it. And the long-term benefits of that has been amazing. So yes, sign up for my LinkedIn profiles and follow me on LinkedIn.
Very cool. I have a question. How do you find your clients? What is your marketing like for you to find your clients, and who is your ideal client?
Ooh, great question. So I put myself out there. Recently, I got some clients from podcasting. LinkedIn has been absolutely huge because I've built up a network of people who love and adore me, and now I've educated them on what I do. That's been one of them. BNI over the years has been a blessing to me. It's where I first got into all of this. That's what I do. I put myself out there. People see me speaking, pitching, whatever it is, and then they reach out or they connect or they follow me for a period of time, and then they say, hey, let's go. So that's a little taste, or chamber events too. I'm looking into Rotary, by the way. I know we have a Rotary fan in here. I've never done one before, but people are like, Shiley, go speak at Rotary. That too. And I've also been doing a lot of LinkedIn workshops for students in high school and in colleges to help them better showcase themselves online, especially for young women, giving them the confidence to talk about themselves and their abilities online. I see someone's asking about Clubhouse. I am on Clubhouse. I've been on there since December, but I've tried to get on there since last summer when I first heard about it. It's evolved a lot and supposedly coming to non-iPhone very soon, supposedly.
Awesome. So I think Alan has a question for you. Alan, do you want to ask?
I've been doing some research lately on some of the social selling part of social media, which uses LinkedIn. There's a couple of applications like Cleverly and several of those. What do you think of those things? Do you use them?
The automated social media?
Yeah.
It's tricky. Here's the thing with any one of these tools, whether it's you're getting automated social media or you're doing SEO or you're doing email marketing, they all are related to each other. So you can automate making a connection with someone, but the minute I smell that you're a robot, I'm like, you're not getting me in the door. Now, if they have really great content or their bio is super, super captivating, it could be a great opportunity. But I find that most of the time, the communication when you use one of those robots isn't strong. And so I personally don't love them, but I have clients that use them, and you have to know what you're doing and you have to have the rest of your marketing built out. It isn't just a one trick pony. You need to have great content. You need to have a great profile. You need to have great follow-up. And that's what I find is missing. And also like LinkedIn is cracking down. So you have to be really careful.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
This is Ken Sakel. I'm very active on LinkedIn as well. Yeah. And I will second your opinion there of, those tools are like cold call, cold emails, and that's not what the platform is about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I love about what you're doing with you're basically doing organic marketing, but you're being very authentic about it, very natural. So that definitely works better than some of this cold outreach and this automated robotic stuff. So
yes. And look, the reality here too is that my people are very well connected. If you see their name, you think, oh, I love that person. They're great. They have that. And they're just not putting information out in a way that those people can consume. It's that they don't need to rely on people magically falling from the sky who've never heard of them before. They have that. If they can match good content to where they are, they're going to do the thing that they're already neglecting, which is staying in touch with their referral network. It's a lot. You can't call everybody every week, but you can scalably put out good content in front of them if you have them gathered somewhere online, which is what I love to do.
Denny has a question. Would you consider yourself more of a communications expert than a marketing expert?
You know, I should start calling myself that in a lot of ways, but it is marketing, right? But it is communications. Like that's I need to process that, but that's what it is. But like, I'm a communications expert. Like, I don't know. That's people want, like, I don't know. I think social media, like, it started with social media, but I think people come in for the social media, but they realize they get something way beyond. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question.
Well, you said something interesting too. It just reminded me. You're actually maybe more of a conversations expert, because you increase the quality of the conversation people have, is what you said. That was your feedback from your clients. So maybe grab onto that as a message as well.
Ooh.
Scott's question is, you've got such great energy and great presentation. What is your average client relationship lifespan? Do you have a distinct long-term versus short-term program?
It's changing. So this is the perfect week to ask me this question, is that for the longest time, I'm like, you know, where are people calling me back to do more sessions? And I realized it was on me to make it really obvious about what their next steps were. And so I started hosting client like networking events for 3 months. And a lot of my past clients were like, oh yeah, I need you again. And this week, I don't know, I've had like 3 or 4 clients that I've had in the past were like, I need you again. I need you again. I need to figure it out. Now I have better processes to keep them long-term, like an ongoing subscription model. So like this Indian matchmaker lady, I did a lot with her last summer, and it's hitting her right now that everything I taught her then is exactly what's working for her now. So I'm getting a lot of people like, it's like, it takes them some time, but they click and they're like, oh shoot, she's not messing around. She's not one of these bull BSers like out there just like, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to be an influencer. Like, no, like they get it. Like there's a long-term benefit when they realize, and that's earth-shattering. So I'm getting a lot of repeat people coming back. I just have to process them in the most proper way. Sales process was my biggest challenge, but I finally feel like I have some of that together. So that was on me. So lots of repeat, lots of people, 6 months, 8 months, 3 months, sometimes it's just a video review. It depends. That's a good question.
Awesome, very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send it to Eric for our final question.
All right, Shiley, thank you very much. And it's interesting, the question, Denny's question about communications or marketing. I was doing social media in the early days, and there was a big outcry against people calling themselves social media experts because it was so new. And my statement was always, I'm a communications expert. I'm a marketing expert. And social media is just a tool. And I think a lot of people are afraid of social media because they forget it's about communication. And they already know how to communicate. This is just a different way. So you know, thank you for teaching people, here's how to communicate better on this new tool. So my final question is, what can we as a community do for you? Ooh,
that's a great question. I appreciate, this was already so amazing. If I can I screen share one more time here?
Sure.
So I'm always looking for introductions. I know we have a Rotary Club expert in here. I would love to speak to a Rotary Club. I've never done it before, so I have no idea what that entails. These are some other things like introductions to colleges, high schools, to do LinkedIn empowerment workshops, especially sororities. I'm finding that they're very interested in this kind of training. Those are some great things. Speaking to chambers, I love chambers. I actually got a lot of my early clients from chambers. Any sort of feedback, even on this presentation, this has evolved a lot. I know Leandra has seen my other presentations. Yes, I did take a lot of feedback. So if there is feedback, Leandra, I was actually going to ask you that. Thank you so much. I'm all ears. Yeah, but please say hello on LinkedIn. That would be great. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.
All right. And I do want to kind of call attention to Leandra's comment. Great improvement since in your presentation since Fort Collins. I noticed you brought in a lot of the feedback that was given to you there. That's kind of the purpose, and this is for everybody. This is the purpose of what we do. We give feedback so that you can give a better presentation somewhere else. And so I actually encourage a lot of speakers, don't speak at your home chapter first. Come try it out on us, and then get good, so that when you give it at home, you look like a genius.
Yes, how did you know my hack? I never applied to my local gym. They don't
Oh, you
even know.
haven't? Oh, that's awesome.
No, I was like, I'm not applying. I'm not going to tell them this is happening.
Cool.
You're hitting it spot on. Thank you.
All right. Well,
there we go. This is more of an idea validation, and I actually presented something different to my Fort Collins chapter. So the feedback that I'd love to get from all of you is, what can I do better to communicate the value of this offer? Tell me about the person who would most benefit from this program, from what you hear, and what more would you need to know to enroll in this program? In other words, what objections should I anticipate? And I figure it's easiest if we know what we would object to. And then what further research would you suggest before launching? So when my husband and I first realized that we were millionaires, of course, we were super excited. And then it was kind of followed by this moment of feeling like a fraud, because at this point, our only luxury is dining out once a week. And we don't even have wall decorations. So I thought, sure, I could teach people how to be a millionaire, but who wants to live like us? And then I started looking at what we do have. We have 3 of everything. We have 3 vehicles that are completely paid for. We have a house with 3 acres and a beautiful view of the mountains. We have 3 horses, we have 3 cows, and sometimes we have 3 pigs. So it turns out that we haven't just been scraping by. Instead, we've been, as financial expert Ramit Sethi says, consciously spending. We've been spending extravagantly on the things that are important to us, and we've been cutting mercilessly on the things that aren't. So my client Jennifer is a holistic practitioner, and she has not just 1, but 2 doctorate degrees. On paper, her practice is successful. She runs a 6-figure business. But like 56% of Americans, she couldn't cover a $500 unexpected expense. And like 64% of Americans, she had less than $10,000 saved for retirement. And even though her business has impressive revenue, she was paying herself less than minimum wage. Her cash flow management was putting her business at risk, like 82% of failed businesses. As Jennifer said, I know how to be poor. I don't know how to be rich. From her childhood, she knew how to navigate the financial system of food stamps, low-income housing, and Medicaid. But what she didn't know how to navigate was the system of high-yield savings accounts, IRAs, brokerage accounts. But that's only half of the story. So even with her incredible accomplishments, she still struggles with imposter syndrome. She's worried that if people find out about her poverty background, that they'll lose trust in her ability as a doctor. This fear makes her reluctant to be more visible, which limits her ability to make and grow money. So if you remember her paycheck, on the surface, it looks like a cash flow problem, but that's just the symptom. The root problem is that she feels like she doesn't deserve to make more money, and especially not from helping people. So that's why I've created the Practical Magical Millionaire, designed specifically to teach female coaches and holistic practitioners to overcome their ingrained limiting beliefs and behaviors to grow their first $1 million. It takes a 3-pronged approach to growing money. It's practical, it's mental, and it's spiritual. And now, I don't know about you, but when I join a program, I need a program that doesn't just teach me, but it actually carves out the time to get it done. And the practical leg of the stool does just that. It carves out time to learn and create their own personal conscious spending plan, to implement and execute that plan, and to automate the plan, which is the effortless path to millionaire status. The course guides participants in the making of both a personal and business spending plan with a system to make income more predictable. So we'll identify tasks in their work schedule that can be delegated, automated, or eliminated in order to free up more time for paying activities. And then the pricing calculator integrates these plans and systems to determine the price that they need to charge to become a practical magical millionaire. So this program doesn't stop at information and planning. It takes it to the next level with the implementation and automation. And by doing the work together with other like-minded women and in the moment expert assistance, participants also have support if they hit a snag. The mental leg of the Practical Magical Millionaire stool is a bit like traveling with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. So in one-on-one coaching, we explore the past, discovering the childhood experiences and familial patterns that are shaping the present. And in classes and groups, we examine the present by redefining what wealth means to us individually, rather than going with the societal norm of having nice things. And for the future, we imagine what our business and personal lives will become as we activate our plans into reality. And finally, the spiritual component. In this aspect of this program, we're transforming our worldview from one of scarcity to one of abundance. There are two ways to become a millionaire: through fear and grasping, which is how I made the first million, or through trust and flow, which is how I'll make every million after that. This leg is about finding the balance between surrender and control. And I'm looking for fellow travelers on this journey. So the education and group program includes 7 modules of core curriculum and group coaching for each module. And the price of this program is $3,000. For those of you who want to accelerate and amplify their results, one-on-one coaching is available for an additional $4,000. And my intention is to begin pre-selling the 7-month program this summer with a start date in September. So you may be wondering what makes me qualified to lead this program aside from being a millionaire. Well, I'm a former pension actuary, which led to my passion about people saving for retirement. My former university students can attest to that because I hounded them relentlessly about beginning to save immediately after graduation. And finally, after 20 years of becoming a person, studying personal development from nutrition and exercise to meditation and mindset, I became the breakthrough queen and put all those years of studying to good use. So thank you for your time. And again, to share my asks, I'll put those up. So again, this is idea validation, and I would love your feedback on these topics.
Very nice, fantastic presentation. I don't know if I saw a previous one of yours, but this is, if this is new, this is amazing.
Thank you.
So great job. First question from Rupert is, have you written a book? And if you haven't, why not yet?
No, my SBDC coach was saying the same thing. He was like, Practical Magical Millionaire is too great of a title not to write a book. So maybe it's on the horizon, but it is not in the short future.
Awesome. Shaylee says you're hitting in something huge. So many women need to hear this stuff.
Thank you.
Rupert's question, excuse me, do you have a productization strategy? For example, offer something for free to hook them, add a low level value option. I guess he's talking kind of like a funnel. Do you have something like that that you're putting together or have?
So I do not. And I will, yeah, I know Shiley, I see Shiley's comment. So finance is my wheelhouse. I am still learning the marketing and what works for me. Because when I saw whoever's question earlier to Shiley, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm figuring out is what works for me for marketing. So at this point, I don't have a funnel. Most of my clients have come from networking and just knowing me, and after time saying, I need what you're doing.
Awesome. So you're doing it organically and authentically, like Shiley is, which is great. Mm-hmm. That is. So is this a group program? Is that what I saw? This is kind of is that how you're scaling and leveraging? And is it possible? Can you scale even bigger?
So this is really me bringing together the 2 silos that I've had. So I've had, when I first thought I was starting my business, I thought it was going to be a budgeting program, teaching people how to live within their means. And then I had this moment where I was teaching financial planning at the university, and I was walking through the student parking lot and I saw a Maserati, and I was like, oh, who buys their kid a Maserati? Seriously. And then I kind of looked at it and I thought, you've worked at a hedge fund, you've been working with millionaires, you're teaching the next generation of financial planners who are going to be working with millionaires, and yet you're disgusted by wealth. Like, what's your deal with wealth? And that's really what got me interested in coaching, is that I started working on my own mindset. And so I've had this second silo where I've worked with individual clients on mindset. So to answer your question, Josh, this is bringing both worlds together because I understood that you couldn't just educate. You had to get through the mindset piece. And I've done mindset work without educating. And I just realized you have to have the marriage of the two. So this is, yes, a group program, but it has one-on-one coaching. And I think the second part of your question was how to scale it. And that's still to be worked out. That's why this is idea validation, because I only have so much time for one-on-one coaching. So if that looks like group coaching, I'm not sure, and I'd be open to feedback if anyone sees a way to scale this, because I do feel like there are programs out there that are lower cost, but they just don't have the effectiveness without the touch points.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point. There are cheaper programs out there, but they're do it yourself. And I always liken that to, oh crap, my transmission is broken. Do I want to do that? I can learn that myself and do it, or I can go find an expert and either do it with them or have them do it for me in a way where they're a lot more of a guide than just here's the book on how to rebuild transmissions. And so I appreciate that positioning that you have, which is very important. Running around here. Yeah, Rupert says the quickest way to gain credibility and build brand and a productization strategy. Oh, writing a book is the quickest way to gain credibility, and a productization strategy will help bring the people in. Jane has a question. Is there a philanthropy component to this?
Can you expand on the question? Because yes and no, depending on which way you're asking it.
I'll let Jane, if you want to explain that a little bit more, or you can answer it both ways if you want.
Okay. So to me, the practical magical millionaire does need to give back. So if you are in the budgeting world, there's a 50-30-20 rule that says 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to wants, and 20% goes to savings. My model says 40% goes to needs, because in the US, our needs and our wants line gets pretty blurred. Like a roof over our head versus a mansion, like where is that line of needs versus wants? So mine becomes 40-30-20-10 with 10% giving. And I don't care how you give, but give back, because that's how you got there. And that's also part of the spiritual aspect of there's plenty. So there's plenty for you to give away.
Awesome, very cool. Rupert is asking, is there a clear target, about having a clear target market? You mentioned women coaches once, but the rest of your deck doesn't particularly hit them again. So I don't know if is that as detailed as you get, women coaches, or do you have a little more tighter target market and are using that in your messaging?
So women coaches who are making money in their business would be, and holistic practitioners, because as I mentioned, my other client, several of my clients are naturopaths.
Okay. And Shaylee says your LinkedIn profile is awesome. So there's kudos there. That's coming from an expert. So that's good. Rupert has a question. What would I need to enroll? Case studies. How did it work for others like me? And again, it goes back to productization, like a funnel to get into the route. So basically, what's his client journey to become a client of yours? What does that look like?
Okay. I don't have an answer for that. That's what I said.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my funnel is lacking.
Got it.
Maybe Shiley and I need to talk.
He's also asking about research. Have you done business model canvas, which would help identifying and messaging your value? Have you gone through a process like that?
So the part that's already done of this is the pricing course. So I made a 5-day pricing course that I've run several times, and it has received great feedback. And several of my private clients took the pricing course, and that's where I realized that the pricing course was falling short. Is they were asking me, oh yeah, I need to get that account set up, or well, yeah, I don't even know about setting up an IRA. Additionally, I am enrolled in a financial program to take it to the next level. And what I noticed is that there are people in there who aren't ready for this course yet that I'm taking, because they're asking about, well, if I sell this stock in my IRA, then do I have to pay taxes on it? And where should my IRA be? And what is an IRA? And so this is sort of, to me, this is sort of like that stepping ground. There doesn't seem to be this place covered that gets people there. So the pricing course is already in place. It teaches them all the fundamentals. The Practical Magical Millionaire is taking it to the next level so that we together open accounts, so that, because in my experience working at the hedge fund, financial websites never work right the first time. And that is really frustrating to somebody not in the industry, and it makes them shut down. So having a group there, everybody's trying to open their account at the same time. If they hit a snag, I'm there. And that's the idea. So I think back to that question, I don't have any case studies for this because this is the idea, but I do have the case studies for the pricing program, which was the last testimonial quote, the last slide that I shared.
Perfect. And you will get the testimonials. You will get the case studies for sure. Jane's question, Jane has just a quick comment. Women are driven by values. Women as developers of wealth for creating their own philanthropic legacies is a new paradigm and goes beyond affluent, because many role models for foundation creation are men right now. And I think that's an excellent point. Rupert, your target market needs more detail. That's his feedback. Like, how long are they in business? What revenue range, age range, avatar, etc. And he says, knowing these can help you be much more efficient with your marketing spend, and as well as focus your efforts. And with that, I'm going to send it to Eric for our final question.
All right. Great job, Leandra, and thank you very much. Thank you for getting up early to come do this. You heard me ask Shiley the question a minute ago. What else can we as a community do for you, particularly this community? Well, how can we help you?
Yeah, if you know any women coaches or holistic practitioners who are making money in their business, and they may or may not be paying themselves, but if they seem to have a viable business, if this seems like something in their wheelhouse, I would love to do some market research and kind of find out what more they want in a program like this.
Can you drop your email and contact information in the chat? I know I've got somebody who actually works right over there when she's here in our co-working space.
Okay,